Wednesday, my dude.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Punch Up Pod with Lila and Pat. Happy Wednesday, my dudes. How are you?
My dudes, I'm doing good. Drinking West Coast Awakening. Oh, it's green.
Ooh.
So the green screen is making it disappear, but
I
tasty beer for this Wednesday.
Nice. Well, cheers. I'm drinking my Pinot, although I did have to switch brands. Bummer. And I had two of these big red fishbowl glasses. The other one broke. And this one's chipping paint. I'm sure I'm ingesting it. So, but we might be saying goodbye to this red bowl of wine sometime soon. But for now, cheers.
And I just looked, but I didn't hear back yet. But I did. I watched an interview with this Palestinian female brewer.
That was so cool. Yeah.
Yeah, and so I wrote them hoping to get some beer from them.
That would be great.
I mean, bye. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
Hey, send us some free beer because we're pro-Palestine.
Oh my God, can you imagine? Yeah, no, it's actually in the West Bank, right? She has a brewery, right, which is amazing. Yeah, that's we would gladly purchase a lot to help people out. Florida Man beer, that could be very funny. Florida Man wine, as long as it is high in alcohol content, I could give it a shot and see. All right. There is so much to talk about. First, let's go ahead.
Wait, are we at war with Venezuela? Is it breaking yet?
Did it really just break?
No, somebody let us know if we're going to be at war with Venezuela.
For fuck's sake. I know that there was just an article written by I clipped it. David. No, all right, I'm going to get it wrong. Infowars. No, not Infowars. That's Alex Jones. The other war. He's against war. He's anti-war. It might be antiwar.com. I can't remember right now. But anyway, that, it's incoming. We got to get our oil and apparently our land back.
Oh, wow.
That's what I think Marco Rubio said. It's got America in the name. South America.
Yeah, it's ours. It must be. Rename it. We should just rename all of America because
why are they burying
Gulf of America,
our oil and our land under their flag? What?
Crazy. Okay. Just so you know, I got my VidGrid on in the background. I'm checking it because they are saying Trump is going to address the nation soon.
Oh, okay.
As GOP cracks grow, is how CNN is phrasing it. So they're not even making it about Venezuela. They're making it about the Vanity Fair article or something.
Oh my God. All right. Well, yeah, keep us posted.
Or the ACA. Yeah.
Right. All of it is one disaster after another. Why not start a new war? I mean, Jesus Christ. Seriously, what are we doing? Please make sure to like and subscribe and smash that notification bell, please. Listen, we talk about this all the time, all of us, and the thing about, starting our own parallel systems and taking matters into our own hands is exemplified in our Cheers video. This is happening in Los Angeles, where traffic accidents, pedestrians, and bike riders are being killed all the time. We have the infrastructure to protect pedestrians and bikers is horrific for the fourth largest economy in the world. You can't even get existing crosswalks to be repainted. So let's see what this gentleman is doing.
Well, it happens.
You're vandalizing city property without a permit. So I'm gonna ask y'all nice. Y'all can record all y'all want, but back up, or I will take everybody to jail.
Today, I got arrested and cited by LAPD for painting a crosswalk. As if we needed more proof that our city's leadership doesn't care about the needs of its people. We've been painting crosswalks around LA to protest for safer streets and a more effective government. We paint crosswalks where they legally already exist, in compliance with California code and the city's ADA guidelines. We've been choosing places where pedestrians have been hit and injured or killed. I've been letting the mayor's office know directly in advance, and we've been requesting the corners through 311. Before we go out and paint, I paste flyers around the neighborhood and I talk to neighbors. Back in August, we painted crosswalks at a corner in Koreatown where the city's apathy caused a child's death. After that, I had the opportunity to meet with the mayor's office, where I hoped that we'd be able to work together to advocate for our shared goal of safer streets. But they basically told me to kick rocks. So I said that we'd stop if the mayor's office either publicly condemned our actions or took tangible steps to make the streets safer. They've done neither of those things, and they've been ignoring my emails since early October. We're not asking for forgiveness, we're asking for change. Please share this post and follow us at People's Vision Zero so we can pressure the mayor's office to get serious about addressing traffic violence in LA.
Good for him.
Yeah.
And fucking A, man. That's how bad our government is, that these local governments have somebody doing everything they can to say, we're gonna do this for free for you. We're gonna follow every rule you want to put in place. We're only doing it in places where crosswalks are already existing, but it's faded paint, and he gets arrested. Now, I want to see you try to win that case against him and not get fucking laughed out by the people in that city.
Have you looked at his social media? Has he ever said that Palestinians deserve to live? Because they'll get him. They got him. Because all of those sorts of things, what is that, like pothole socialism, or, the politics of potholes, just like general upkeep, making people's lives better, is what politics should be, what we all hoped it would be. But the reason, there is such convergence of people who, just like hurt people. Yeah. People who care about people. So there is a lot of crossover. The people who do things like this, or who are protesting ICE, or who are protesting genocide or war or environmental disasters, right? So like, they got us.
Right. And even if you look at our government in the most libertarian sense, and that's all you want, that first role is protecting us as much as they can, like just safety, basic safety, basic rules for some safety. And here you are saying, you're going to go to jail for painting a sidewalk that we're not painting.
What did they say? It was not desecration, but what's it called when you like spray paint something? Vandalism.
Yeah.
What did I say? Desecration. Oh, this is not good, guys. I mean, desecration is not a bad word, but I couldn't come up with vandalism, and we're only at 5:07, and I've had three sips of wine. Not glasses. I mean,
we're not even talking about a rogue action. That's the crazy part. This is like, hey, here's what we're gonna do. Can you do it? And it probably comes down to them saying, well, this group has a contract to do this stuff. So if you painted that one, when the contract comes around and they want to do it,
it'll be like union issues.
You're taking money out of their pockets,
Yep. Then get them to work. Hire more people if you don't have enough people. Like, let's go. Jesus Christ. Okay. Let's I'm about to get a phone call. I'm just turning that off really fast. Okay. Let's do a quick spin. Get some joy in here before we talk about one disaster after another. It just is unending. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, baby.
Oh, so close. I think my streak is broken now.
You didn't land on a drink?
Did not land on a drink for my first spin, but never fear, I will call my own audible very soon.
Okay, let's start with this one. This one's kind of relative.
All right.
Relevant, excuse me. This is the Drooby, the.Drooby.
I love watching your TikTok, which is next level. Clearly that's expressed by my 13-year-old son.
No, God, please, no, no, no.
Thank you for coming, everybody. We're gonna do a classic Christmas story, one of the best, about Peruvian snakes.
Oh, I love that one. Can I sit on the sofa?
Oh my god, no way. Do you remember what he did last time?
Oh, jeez, I didn't think anybody saw it.
Everybody shut up. I'm starting. The Peruvian viper is very dangerous. One bite and you're like so dead.
I'm pretty sure if a snake bit you, the fucking snake would die.
This is serious. They kill 28,000 people a year.
Google says 10.
Okay, between 9 and 28,000 people a year.
Holy shit!
I know, it's crazy, right?
No, not you. Did you see what Vanity Fair just posted?
Please tell me they blurred my neck.
No, not you. You're not in it.
Oh, why?
Oh, jeez, it's me. What the fuck is that face? It looks like the couch asked if you had a condom.
Why is it so close? Can't believe I said thank you.
Honestly, RFK looks really fucking good here. Crazy that he hates vaccines, but he'll stick needles in his lips. Oh my god, that's not RFK, that's me. Holy shit, how old are you? I'm 28. Okay, but like times 7 for dog years? Excuse me. Hey, at least for Steven, they zoomed out a bit so he could fit all his friends in the photo.
Filthy liberal. They stole it from us.
Hey, Merry Christmas. Open the fucking box.
That's awesome. Oh my god, you have to laugh, I guess. You have to laugh. All right.
Can you like as we were saying before the show, stuck in my head all day is the REM song, It's the End of the World as You Know It. Like I just can't get that out of my head. And I see another news article and I'm like, it's the end of the world as you know it.
It is just so like even one day to the next, even like from a Wednesday to a Thursday, when we say, oh, we didn't cover these things, we'll cover them tomorrow. We can't even catch up to crazy stuff. Like I just saw Dan Bongino's resigning. We had a whole article that was really good about him that we wanted to share on, I think, Sunday or last Thursday, but we didn't get to. And now it's like, I mean, it still matters, right? Because he's a disgusting person that they had in charge of ICE. And they're going to find another disgusting person who probably will have a very similar backstory. But like, we didn't even share it. And now he's gone. And now we're going to war. And, you know, it's like, it's the end of the world.
It is. And I think we are due for a round of people exiting the White House. I think it's going to be around the midterms. They're going to lose the midterms. They're going to bring in some new people.
Yeah.
They're going to tone down a little bit of the crazy because they have to, because they're going to be under more scrutiny from Democrats who will have, you know, subpoena power again.
Right.
And that's where we're headed.
Possibly. Although, I mean, we'll get to this, but apparently Miriam Adelson and Alan Dershowitz have something up their sleeves. They're planning on 4 more years.
I saw
Yeah,
that
they're
too.
going to have a third Trump regime. All right. But before we get to the third Trump regime, let's get back to the second one. There was this explosive, apparently, piece in Vanity Fair, 2 articles. The first one, they were both written, by, where is it? Chris Whipple. Yes. Throughout the first year of Donald Trump's second administration, Vanity Fair writer Chris Whipple has interviewed Suzie Wiles, White House chief of staff, amid each moment of crisis. His insider's account, Trump 2.0, joins the photography of Christopher Anderson for a portrait of power and peril. That is the cover of the first article. This is the second article. Suzie Wiles talks Epstein files, Pete Hegseth's war tactics, retribution, and more. What the junkyard of dogs is what she calls this motley crew. The most sort of explosive bit in it, and there are 2 very long articles that Pat and I both waded through, sadly, today.
Weighted is one way to put it. I skimmed when I saw quotes, I was just like, who said it? She said it. Okay, I got it.
Yeah.
Skip to the next quote, give me the facts, because it's written like a novel.
It's written like a novel about something that we were all living through. I didn't feel like there was any huge revelations, but this was the stuff that people are the most taken with, are Wiles' assessment of some of the people in Trump's cabinet. Over the course of 11 interviews, Ms. Wiles offered pungent assessments of the president and his team. Mr. Trump has an alcoholic's personality. Vice President J.D. Vance has been a conspiracy theorist for a decade, and his conversion from Trump critic to ally was based not on principle, but was sort of political because he was running for Senate. Elon Musk is an avowed ketamine user and an odd duck whose actions were not always rational and left her aghast. Russell T. Vought, the budget director, is a right-wing absolute zealot, and Attorney General Pam Bondi completely whiffed in handling the Epstein files. Do you have anything you would like to talk about that before we delve further?
Yeah, well, my sentiment wasn't that this was really this old tell-all about the White House that they're making it seem out to be, for the most part. I think it's her sort of covering her butt, sort of exerting her power a little bit, because she's needed by Trump. I mean, she's really been a stabilizing force within all this lunacy.
Yeah.
I don't know. Let's talk more about the bits of it before I get into the bits. And
yeah, no, I mean, I agree. My overall thought is, of course, she's not selling out Trump and the people he cares about. He loves the chaos and pitting people against each other. It's what he does. And it feels like a pre-excuse about the Epstein files, honestly.
Yeah, that was we were talking about that. That's the big, like, all this other stuff is noise, but Trump wasn't really involved in the Epstein files. That's the big sort of
and neither was Clinton.
She's going to tell all this other truth. Why would she not tell the truth? You know,
exactly. So that, to me, that's what it is. Because also, why on earth would she ever exculpate Bill Clinton, who was on those Lolita flight logs 26 times? Like, and then she lies and says there's no proof he was ever at the island. So to me, that kind of the whole game away.
And I also think, you know, as much as there's this chaos presented in the article about all these wacky characters, it presents it like they're having serious discussions on the issues, even though they have these wacky personalities.
Right.
So it's presenting a more normal view than really exists too.
Absolutely. And it also like provides some, you know, she's like, oh, I was aghast by this. It takes away some of the blame on her, even though it shouldn't. But also, yeah, exactly. It's not, we are in almost full-blown fascism and get us all out of here. It's more just like, listen, you know, some of it boys will be boys. Some of it is everybody has quirkiness. Some of it is just like, oh, policy differences. She's fine right where she is, or she would have left. So like, she's not betraying anybody.
And if you're a MAGA Republican that's sort of upset with, or, you know, set it back by some of the chaos and weirdness in the administration, here's a reasonable person that's managing it all. And, you know, she's okay with it. So must be okay. Like, necessary evil.
The thing to me that is the most telling, in addition to the Bill Clinton lie, is that the aspect of this that people, including this cabinet, seem the most upset about is the photographs, right? That to me is also really instructive. So they did not like that there were these extreme close-ups that showed people's, you know, pores and sometimes their crazy eyes or whatever it is. And so Christopher Anderson, who is the photographer, who has done, you know, now he's more like a celebrity photographer, but he's done political photographs for decades. There's a couple of pictures of each person. This is Suzie Wiles, and here's Suzie Wiles against a door with a light switch by her. So the accusation is that he sort of tried to make them look Bush League and not know how to present themselves. Like you don't normally see somebody who's a stately person with the light switch right next to her like that, standing awkwardly.
Yeah, and if you look in the background in the shadow, there's a person back there too. So look, all these things were choices. I do think, I will agree that he made a choice to present them in the worst possible light.
100%.
Like,
yeah.
It's absolutely part of the plan.
Yes. But like,
and
again, that's what they're most, I don't either. Like, he's trying to reveal who they are, but in his eyes, he's the photographer. Of course, it's like, you know, that's what they do. JD Vance, this is his extreme close-up, which I mean, if you liked him, I don't think that's a horrible close-up of him. I've seen him look much worse.
That's probably the most reasonable of them, to be honest.
Although this makes him look like a baby who's like putting on his very first suit,
big boy.
Yeah.
And then Rubio looking like he's farting or whatever, you know, like that was a weird one.
Yeah. So Rubio here, but again, like he still sort of looks stately. Like, to me, that's not the worst. And I think he's despicable. There's one that people keep, and I didn't see it in the article, where he's like standing over a couch looking down, and there's like a leg lamp, but I didn't see it in the actual article. The one that I saw, at least that they chose, maybe that was just an extra. But the one that they chose is him from behind, again, looking sort of stately, like, you know, his back to everybody else and looking out the window, like contemplatively or something.
Yeah, look, it was done to make them look bad.
100%. Yeah.
You know,
Yes.
especially the Carolyn Levitt one with her.
Yes. So we're
her
getting
lip
there.
blisters.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because that was the biggest one, right? So, okay. Then we've got the Zealot, Stephen Miller.
Looks like the Nazi he is.
Yeah, just like the Nazi. And then this is him, of course, under a painting of Native Americans sitting there with a sort of like evil smile there, because clearly he doesn't believe that Native Americans belong here. Go back to where you came from. But yes, this is the one that has garnered the most online chatter. Caroline Levitt, the mouthpiece, partially because, you know, it is an extreme close-up. You see people's pores and little wrinkles, and she's only 28, but also she's got a ton of makeup on. But then also because you can see around her lips the little dots, which are the injection points where she's had lip filler. But she chose that. She brought her own makeup people, right? And then this is her other one standing there like a girl boss. Those are the photographs that were the subject of most of the right-wing backlash to this whole piece, right?
Yeah. And of course, as always, they want to make it about that stuff. I mean,
yeah.
The real stuff in there is the, just the pieces where they show her pushing back against them and then accepting their views, kind of like,
right.
There was a couple of instances of that where like going after all the January 6th people. She was arguing, well, we should just go after you should not pardon them all. You should not pardon the violent offenders.
Right.
And then, this is another point to what you were making about the article, is that she was convinced, Trump and his campaign people convinced her that all the violent people or whatever, the severest offenders on that day had already served more time than the minimum mandatories or whatever.
Right.
So they had already done enough. So she's
Right.
like, well, I guess I'll just go along with it.
Yeah.
So that's her view on it.
Yeah. And also like the thing about ICE and deportations. Well, somebody must have made a mistake, but there are some violent people, but I wish that hadn't happened to the other people. I mean, it's just,
right. Which gives the sane MAGA people a way out, a talking point right there.
Exactly. So the photographer is the one who gets a follow-up piece, which is sort of funny, in Washington Post. So this is Christopher Anderson. How do you prepare a subject for this? Obviously, your portfolio is available online, but do they know they're signing up for extreme close-ups? And he says that every picture I make is a tight close-up, and not all the pictures that I made at the White House were the tight close-ups. But then the next part, the images are really arresting. What is your response to people who say that these images are unfair? There's been a lot of attention about Caroline Levitt's lips and what appear to be injection sites. I didn't put the injection sites on her. People seem to be shocked that I didn't use Photoshop to retouch out blemishes and her injection marks. I find it shocking that someone would expect me to retouch out those things, which, I mean, he's completely right about. Also, she brought her own, they call it a groomer, which is so funny. Were they coming camera ready, or was there a hair and makeup team? Most of them came camera ready or with their own hair and makeup team. Caroline Levitt has her own personal groomer that was there. That I do think is interesting, because most people would say her own hair and makeup, or her own hair and makeup artist, or whatever, her groomer. I mean, we don't know if Caroline Levitt still has that groomer today now that the photos are published. What can I say? That's the makeup she put on. Those are the injections she gave herself. If they show up in a photo, what do you want me to say? I don't know if it says something about the world we live in, the age of Photoshop, the age of AI filters, or on your Instagram. But the fact that the internet is freaking out because they're seeing real photos and not retouched ones says something to me. I mean, all of that is ridiculous. The final one is about Stephen Miller. And this, I do think, obviously reveals the photographer's feelings about this whole administration, in case anybody missed it from the photos that he took. Were there moments that you missed? Anything that happened that's on the cutting room floor? I don't think there's anything I missed that I wish I'd gotten. I'll give you a little anecdote. Stephen Miller was perhaps the most concerned about the portrait session. He asked me, should I smile or not smile? And I said, how would you want to be portrayed? We agreed that we would do a bit of both. And then when we were finished, he comes up to me to shake my hand and say goodbye. And he says to me, you know, you have a lot of power in the discretion you use to be kind to people. And I looked at him and I said, you know, you do too. There we go.
Amen. I have good for him.
Yeah.
He did the best journalism in this article is that photography, to be honest.
Yeah, truly. I agree. Which is why they're so upset about it. Absolutely. Because you can't hide the ugly on the inside. You just can't. And that comes through in all of those. So there was a response both from Caroline Levitt on Fox News this morning. I mean, the gobbledygook word salad coming out of her mouth. But what is interesting, and we'll show it in a second, is they all, and there was like 40 different tweets that went out almost at the same time by, you know, MAGA Republicans, like name MAGA Republican kind of people, and, you know, people in the administration, all standing by Suzie Wiles, which again shows you exactly that she was not doing anything as betrayal in their minds. Yeah.
That's kind of the weird part to me is they're all standing by her on it, right? Because it didn't really reveal that much. So it's not the end of the world. But then they're all saying that the interviewer took things out of context for the article.
Yeah.
And he did this all on
he recorded everything.
It's all recorded. It's
like
12 meetings recorded.
Yeah.
Meetings.
11. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, so let's just see Caroline Levitt's response.
I wanted to ask you, Caroline, about the two-part series of articles in Vanity Fair on Suzie Wiles, the chief of staff, and the president's inner circle. I mean, clearly there was a lot of cooperation between the White House and Vanity Fair on this because there's numerous interviews that Suzie Wiles had with the writer over the course of pretty much a year. Portraits were taken of his inner circle, including her, J.D. Vance, Stephen Miller. I mean, it looks like the White House was working hand in glove with Vanity Fair, and yet here's Suzie Wiles' reaction to the series of articles. Quote, the article published early this morning is a disingenuously framed hit piece on me and the finest president, White House staff, and cabinet in history. Significant context was disregarded, and much of what I and others said about the team and the president was left out of the story. I assume after reading it that this was done to paint an overwhelmingly chaotic and negative narrative about the president and our team. She goes on after that. You can read the full thing on X, but what happened? What went wrong?
Well, look, I would just echo my boss, Suzie Wiles, who is the best chief of staff in our nation's history, working for the greatest president in our nation's history, and that this was, unfortunately, another attempt at fake news by a reporter who was acting disingenuously and really did take the chief's words out of context. But I think most importantly, the bias of omission was ever present throughout this story. The reporter omitted all of the positive things that Suzie and our team said about the president and the inner workings of the White House. And as Suzie said today, it's deeply unfortunate that happened, but it won't distract us from making America great again.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm thinking the other thing this gives them is because occasionally Vanity Fair editorial will be on the nose with something.
Right.
And call out the administration. So now they can disregard the whole magazine as, you know, their bias to this piece, which wasn't that revealing. So
it was not. I mean, it was just that she hurls some accusations against some of the people. Then she says, no, I never said the ketamine or the microdosing, whatever. I mean, it's all just such a distraction. Yes.
And it also paints Trump as a guy who will listen to a reasonable woman, you know, who's in charge. It's not, you know, look at the power this woman wields that we're not even fighting back against her.
That is the other huge aspect, which is why there will be a Republican female president before a Democratic one. I have no doubt about it. They love talking about how she's the first female chief of staff. This was
maybe that's the big picture. Maybe they're separating her out to be the next nominee.
Yeah, I don't think that, but I do think that they, you know, and I mean, we're going to show the thing with Mary Adelson. He loves strong women. Just look at how he loves his daughter. Look at how, you know, like, and they're going to make that case. He is not as backwards as you all think he is. He just doesn't want people getting cheated and, you know, the lying Democrats and the Trump derangement syndrome and all of that stuff. But nobody's mad at Suzie Wiles. She did not stray from what they all wanted her to do, or at least what her boss wanted her to do. She's doing exactly what he wanted. And then this is JD Vance's response.
And I've seen so many people who will say one thing to the president's face, Democrats and Republicans, and then will do the exact opposite behind the scenes. You know why I really, you know what they are, and you know why I really love Suzie Wiles? Because Suzie is who she is in the president's presence. She's the same exact person when the president isn't around. I've never seen Suzie Wiles say something to the president and then go and counteract him or subvert his will behind the scenes. And that's what you wanted a staffer. Because as much as I love Suzie, the American people didn't elect any staffer. They elected the President of the United States. And what you want, in a staffer is a person who understands they are there to effectuate the will of the American people, and they're there to follow the orders of the duly elected Commander-in-Chief of the United States. And Suzie Wiles, we have our disagreements. We agree on much more than we disagree, but I've never seen her be disloyal to the President of the United States, and that makes her the best White House Chief of Staff that I think the President could ask for. And the last thing I'll say is if any of us have learned a lesson from that Vanity Fair article, I hope that the lesson is we should be giving fewer interviews to mainstream media outlets. So,
and there you have it. Yep. She's a good little soldier, good little Nazi. She follows orders, and mainstream media sucks.
Josie pointed this out, which I was thinking of exactly as well. He's in front of Uline. He's at Uline, which is the most overpriced catalog they sell to businesses. It's like the mob of working supplies.
Right.
It's and they always have a political agenda. They're right wing,
right?
And just everything is, I'm not kidding, like 3 times the cost it should be.
Yeah, they're money. That's all they care about. Money. So that was, the big brouhaha, which feels like an enormous distraction because Trump is going on in half an hour. I'm sure he is going to, say that we're going to war with Venezuela, that we're invading Venezuela. And people spent the whole day talking about this, which obviously we did too, but they clearly, and also once again, what they want to do is delegitimize mainstream media, which I'm mostly fine with, but the people they turn to are just as, corrupt and mendacious as, the Atlantic.
Yeah. The entire White House press corps now is just Fox News sycophants. And
like podcasters who it seems like they
nationalist
discuss the question ahead of time and just kind of lob it up like an Erica Kirk town hall sort of. There was more.
In fairness, Biden didn't even talk to the press, so
that's true.
It's not like Biden was better. He was just a different means of propaganda. He would let the newspapers do the propaganda themselves.
Yes, 100%, which they did. And, I think people, I don't know, Trump won. So who knows? It didn't work out well for Biden or Kamala, who's now blaming both sides. And
they are saying that Trump is coming on at 6. So we got like half an hour before Trump comes.
Okay.
So don't turn the station. That's what I'm saying here.
Yeah. We'll put it up there because you've got the VidGrid going.
CNN doesn't have puppets.
Yeah. Stay tuned. We'll cover it right here. So maybe we just talk a little bit more about the rest of the crazy in the GOP and kind of get that out before his big announcement. Okay. So this is just amazing to me. The wall of fame. So there's the whole, the portraits. I think it's going towards the East Wing of all former presidents. And Trump has replaced or placed new text underneath each portrait. And they are just as, unhinged as his as his normal truths or whatever he calls them. Does he call them truths? A truth post?
I mean, who puts this crap in writing in a bronze plaque?
This is for Biden. It's a two-parter. We don't even need to read the whole thing, but Biden was by far the worst president in American history, taking office as a result of the most corrupt election ever seen in the United States. I mean, that is under a portrait of Biden in the White House. And listen, I despise Biden. I pretty much agree with everything Trump says in there about, you know, who he is and what he did not accomplish. But this isn't the place for it. That's such a waste of time and money. It's so pathetic and petty. It's just embarrassing.
And you can't do this at the same time as you're saying that the Democrats need to tone down the rhetoric and we need to come together and all that crap. And here he's memorializing literally in plaques shit that shouldn't even be in a tweet from a president.
Truly. So he has a two-parter. The next one, nicknamed Sleepy and Crooked. I mean, these are in the White House. Like, we all paid for this. Taxpayer money. Then he has Obama, same kind of thing. Two-parter. Barack Hussein Obama was the first Black president, community organizer. As president, he passed the highly ineffective Unaffordable Care Act, resulting in his party losing control of both houses. You know, blah, blah, goes on. There's a second part also. Under Obama, the ISIS caliphate spread across the Middle East. Libya collapsed into chaos, and Russia invaded and took Crimea. In Ukraine, he crippled small businesses. I mean, again, there's a lot of truth in there, but not appropriate to put it on a plaque under a portrait of a president, just in the White House. It's just not. And then also he has Clinton. He only has one for Clinton, but again, you know, like he approved NAFTA, oversaw NATO's military intervention in Bosnia and Kosovo. You know, it's like, despite his scandals, the tech boom was a result of his presidency. And then, of course, there's a glowing one for Reagan. And on that, apparently, most progressive Gavin Newsom, governor of California, sees eye to eye with Trump.
He does. He tweeted I think I uploaded it, but I don't know. Is it gone? There it is.
Yeah.
This is Newsom. Nobody asked you. There is nothing in Reagan in the discourse right now. And Newsom just comes out and is like, yeah, I like Reagan. Reagan, you know, a nation composed of good and decent people. Like
everything we're suffering right now is pretty much a consequence of Reagan's presidency. I mean, obviously some Carter also, but like Reagan. And Gavin Newsom is going to tweet out something about Reagan. Nothing about the left ever. It's always about the good Republicans, the good right-wingers who brought us trickle-down economics. Yeah, it's just an enormous shit show. And if that's not enough, he had what was the ceremony where Miriam Adelson was there? But he talked about both Miriam Adelson and her husband Sheldon, who has passed, and basically how they had, you know, free reign to come over to the White House whenever, and $250 million buys you a lot. Little glimpse.
Yeah, and they're joking around, and she says to him, 2028, we got another $250 million for you. And he's like, well, you hear that, guys? You hear that? And then the room claps, and they're all, you know, so it's like, hey, she wants me to run. I got dirty Israeli Zionist money.
Do we even want to listen to it? We don't, right?
Oh, we have the clip? I didn't know we had it.
I mean, we have the clip, but I don't know, man. It's just so hard to like. All right. I think we should, because he is the leader of the free world, possibly for a third term coming up.
And we have another person that's a very special person. She received the Presidential Medal of Freedom. She is a beautiful woman, actually, in my opinion. Another one. That's two reasons now. And third, by the way, Mark, we have three reasons, Mark. because your wife is incredible, always from day one. But I think it's okay if we ask Miriam Adelson. Do you want to come up, Miriam? Come up here, Miriam. Miriam gave my campaign, indirectly and directly, $250 million. She was number one. When somebody can give you $250 million, I think that we should give her the opportunity to say hello. And Miriam, make it quick, because $250 million is not what it used to be. Okay? Hello, darling. Come in. Incredible woman with a great husband, a man that loved Israel.
And now I met Alan Dershowitz, and he said the legal thing about 4 more years. And I said, Alan, I agree with you. So we can do it. Think about it.
Alan's here someplace. Where's Alan?
Alan is here. Oh, he had a flight. Alan is here. Think about it.
Thank you.
Maybe I will be the first one who told you, or second. Yeah.
She said, think about it. I'll give you another $250 million.
Which, let's be honest, it's a bribe from a foreign government.
Yeah. Is she Israeli? Somebody asked, I think Jay just asked, but is she Israeli? I think she is. I'm not 100%. But I think she is. She got him to move the embassy, the U.S. embassy, to Jerusalem in his first regime. She wants to fully annex the West Bank, which is almost entirely done at this point, as they just, keep on slaughtering people, arresting children for picking wild vegetables.
I just looked her up. She is Israeli American.
Yeah.
So
dual loyalty. And I mean, we showed another clip a few weeks ago where Donald Trump says, Sheldon, actually, I asked him, because I think Sheldon Adelson served in the IDF and not in the U.S. military. Which do you prefer, or whom do you love more? What do you love more, Israel or the U.S.? And he was like, it was Israel. He loved Israel more. Like, Trump will get up there and say all of the things about Jews that are considered anti-Semitic, but he just owns it and says it. Like, they own everything. They keep giving me money. They're really good at banking. They have dual loyalty. He's like, and I love it,
Keep it coming.
Yeah, keep it coming. Okay, so that is what we possibly have to look forward to, as we are probably about to hear the announcement that we're going to war. We should just take a quick look at Trump's Venezuelan post from earlier. Venezuela is completely surrounded by the largest armada ever assembled in the history of South America. It will only get bigger, and the shock to them will be like nothing they have ever seen before, until such time as they return to the United States of America all of the oil, land, and other assets that they previously stole from us. The illegitimate Maduro regime is using oil from these stolen oil fields to finance themselves, drug terrorism, human trafficking, murder, and kidnapping. For the theft of our assets and many other reasons, including terrorism, drug smuggling, and human trafficking, the Venezuelan regime has been designated a foreign terrorist organization. Therefore, today, I am ordering a total and complete blockade of all sanctioned oil tankers going into and out of Venezuela. The illegal aliens and criminals that the Maduro regime has sent into the United States during the weak and inept Biden administration are being returned to Venezuela at a rapid pace. America will not allow criminals, terrorists, or other countries to rob, threaten, or harm our nation, and likewise will not allow a hostile regime to take our oil, land, or any other assets, all of which must be returned to the United States immediately. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Donald J. Trump. What in the almighty fuck?
They didn't take any of our oil.
I mean, it's like the thing that they used to say about Iraq. Why do you guys keep all of our oil under your land? What are you doing? I mean,
yeah, and this whole premise was started on we're blowing up boats because of the drugs they're bringing over here, and now they have to turn the oil. They're on notice that they have to give all the oil.
Blockade, which again, I know we've talked about, sanctions overall and how many hundreds of thousands of people sanctions kill every year. Sanctions, which is supposed to be like the peaceful path forward. Those blockades they always affect the poorest people. It's medicine, it's food, it's oil, it's money, it's banking. And it never works in regime change anyway. So it is just a way of meting out more atrocities against people. And so, but that is why they say that they have a right to the piracy of boarding a Venezuelan oil tanker that was trying to deliver oil to another embargoed country, Cuba, and steal and keep all of that oil, because we decided unilaterally that we're the cops of the whole world, and what we say goes. And when we say we're implementing sanctions, everybody has to listen. And because we have the dominant money system, any country that doesn't follow what we want to do, we put more sanctions on. And that is why we need a multipolar world. You're muted.
And we're at a place where the Democrats aren't even vocally opposed to it much. Like Schumer wouldn't even say if he was against regime change.
We brought wine
change is illegal
to Congress and gave him a standing ovation. Democrats.
Yeah, and I'm watching I got in the background the network, so I'm watching to see what's going on there. And they're putting up stats. 70% of the U.S. is opposed to military intervention in Venezuela. So you're gonna go do something that the only people that want it are the top 1%. They're gonna get money off of all this oil theft.
That's exactly what's going to happen. That's all that's going to happen, because Maduro has even said that he would leave. He would leave, and he would give over his oil, basically, the country's oil. But this is what we do anytime a country wants to survive on its own resources. We say, no, those are our resources. You all have to be poor. And then we make up some reason to have a regime change.
Yeah.
Every time.
We do the old economic hitman move. We prop up a corrupt. No, we know he's corrupt. Hey, this guy's corrupt. So let's get him in there. Let's have him make a deal with the U.S. for the country's resources. And then let's have their people revolt against him next. But, oh, look, your country still owes us because he made that deal.
Exactly. I mean, that's what we're doing in Argentina. And that's why. And this is, I mean, it is really not that I thought like, oh, the Nobel Peace Prize was some hallowed award given by people with pure, objectives. But I did not think it was going to be so brazen as to give it to a Venezuelan opposition leader who is pro Netanyahu and is calling for regime change of her own country. Like,
peace is in the prize name label. I mean, what are we doing here? I mean, I understand FIFA giving Trump an award for, biggest dick on earth or whatever you want. Like, who cares?
Yeah.
But the Nobel, like, your whole institution is just shit.
Yeah.
Like, you just ruined it.
Yeah. And I mean, again, I think a lot of us felt that way when they gave it to Barack Obama after like bombing Doctors Without Borders hospital. Another Peace Prize winner. But this is,
you could fall back on the rhetoric of what Obama said and his diplomatic nature.
Right.
So it was wrong, but it made sense to some people.
It didn't feel quite.
But how do you?
Yeah, shocking.
It's Hitler, peace man of the year, most peaceful guy on earth. Bring us together.
Exactly. So anyway, he says, of course, we're going to keep the oil that we steal from their ships because what they're doing is illegal. So it's ours. Did you see the trailer for Melania's new documentary?
I watched a couple of the trailers because there's a few different ones going
I've only
on there.
seen this one that we have. Yeah.
And they all feel like they're going to be a spoof, and they all feel like they're made with AI, and they're all real.
They're all real. And that was part of her whole that was part of their Netflix thing, right? Was that with Netflix or Bezos? No, it was Bezos. It was Amazon, I think. I have to look at it. But that was part of the bribe, was to produce this documentary, this glowing documentary about the First Lady. But this is pretty crazy. This is the trailer for Melania. Brace yourself.
Here we go again.
coming. Good morning. My proudest legacy will be that of peacemaker.
Peacemaker in the fire. Beautiful. Together with like-minded leaders, we have a voice. Is it safe?
It is safe.
Everyone wants to know. So here it is. Hi, Mr. President. Congratulations.
Did you watch it?
I did not. Yeah, I will see it on the news.
It feels like Succession. Like you're right. It
Yeah.
just feels a little bit like they're spoofing her, but she doesn't even realize it.
She doesn't
Peacemaker?
care. She just wants to be on camera with all her little outfits. And they made sure to get the Mr. President subservient wife line in, you know, like.
I mean, it is so embarrassing. And but then
I will
no, because
admit,
at the end she says, no, I didn't catch it. I'm gonna watch it. I'll watch it on the news.
I mean, I'll admit I want to see that. I want to see that. I want to see it because it's going to be hilarious.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I just hate them all so much. Okay. Let's quickly just. Oh, I know. I just wanted to say because I just always think it's funny to see how quickly all of these people, and it's on both sides. I know that, but like how all of these people just flip a switch when it's convenient. This was Trump talking about Miriam Adelson back in 2015. Sheldon Adelson is looking to give big dollars to Rubio because he feels he can mold him into his perfect little puppet. I agree. That is Donald Trump's post from 2015.
you have
And that
been
was a
molded.
Larry Ellison suggestion, Larry Ellison suggestion to the Adelsons was Marco Rubio's your guy.
Yeah. Well, you just look at all the people that work for Trump now, all called him a Nazi or something at some point in their lives.
JD Vance. Absolutely.
But the money trumps it all, just like Epstein, you know, like, oh, he can help me shelter my money. So I don't care that he's a fucking literal child trafficking pedophile.
Yep. They absolutely do not care. It means nothing.
Yeah. And Jen, don't worry, I would never pay for any movie. Particularly, I would not.
He doesn't
give
pay
her
for
money.
anything.
I hack it all.
I'm joking.
It's true.
Are you still keeping your eye on it? We know what's happening just in case.
Yeah, no, they're setting it up with showing
Okay.
Venezuela footage
All right.
of the helicopters landing on the tanker, you know.
Piracy. That is illegal. Like, where is the rest of the world?
It's
Where is
astonishing.
the rest of the world? It really is. This is the latest. Yeah. Saul, you're about to get banned again, buddy. No, I'm joking. That was a mistake I made like 4 years ago. I was trying to get somebody else who was just being a troll, and by accident, I banned Saul for the rest of the show, and I couldn't bring him back. I was like, no, it happened so quickly. Okay, this is Linda McMahon. Another little Christmas video, bringing her own version of Christmas cheer. We showed a few on what day is today? On Sunday. Here she back again. It was such a great experience for her.
I hear that they want to cut those student loans give them as tax cuts to their billionaire friends.
Make no mistake, this is an all-out assault on public education.
I think that this administration just doesn't like children.
Your booze mean nothing. I've seen what makes you cheer.
Really grateful to the secretary that she joined us. Thank you. She's here. Perhaps I should give her the podium.
Rick and Morty.
I mean, to bring in for no reason transgenderism into that discussion too. Well, and you know what she's doing is they're trying to cut all these programs that are making student loans. They're not forgiving student loans. They're just making them payment plan kind of situations, right? But they want those all gone. And Biden did the bare minimum he could to just get a little bit of credit so he could try to win in 2020, and it didn't work, or 2024.
Yep.
It didn't work, but those programs did help a few people a lot. Or
they did. They helped a few people a lot. This is why Democrats have to stop doing, or I mean, who cares? Democrats are always going to do this, but this is why the means testing and the half measures, it just forgive the student loans. Be done with it. Number one. Number two, I think in one of the Grinch videos that she did last week that we showed, she also declares that there are only two sexes. Wasn't that Linda McMahon or was that somebody else? I think it was. And I'm sure it's also because of programs that are, you know, both in college and in public schools that, anything that is trying to look out for anybody's civil rights, they want to carve away.
Yeah, and we know that's the agenda, but give me the nexus between transgenderism and student loans. What is it? What is she even trying to say the connection is that she needs to bring transgenderism into the student loan payments?
It's all culture war stuff.
Yeah, of course.
Issues. And what that does is remind the people who are hurt by the non-forgiveness of student loans that there are people who are even beneath them in the hierarchy, and that might make them feel a little better. Why is that trans female getting my kid's college scholarship, athletic scholarship?
Right. So that's the connection she's making in theory to people, is that, you know, oh, there must be at least 8 people in the whole world that are trans getting a scholarship somehow.
Yep. It should be mine.
Why your student loans are so unaffordable. So we're going to get rid of that, and that's going to save 8 people, you know.
Exactly. It's disgusting. And Democrats play into it every chance they get, because they will not talk about the predatory student loans. They won't cancel them. They won't fight to cancel them. They won't talk about the hedge fund managers who are, you know, doing a side hustle of education at all of our elite universities at this point. And so it's just easier to keep fighting over this small segment of society that's one of the most marginalized and abused. That's where we're going to go. And the only lesson apparently that Democrats took from losing again to Donald Trump was we went too woke, fuck trans. That's exactly what happened.
Yeah. And obviously I understand that connection. I just wanted to hear, I want to know, like, how does she present it to her people as this is a reason? That's the thing.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I know. I mean, we all understand. It's just so, they don't care anymore to hide it. And it's all just about the cruelty, because, you know, right now, Trump is resoundingly unpopular. The economy, in spite of his A++, you know, self-grading, plus, is really in the tank. It's all relying on AI data centers. You know, there is a person, we should really try and get her on the show, the Dre Dossier. She pulls like lots of public records and articles, and her thesis is that the East Wing, destruction of the East Wing, is a front because they are going to be building a huge energy board and data center underneath it. I don't know if that's true or not, but his whole presidency is all about helping these tech oligarchy bros and their AI. And the data centers are already using up, you know, more water and electricity than some major cities. And that's not even what they're expecting the data centers needs to be if they reach the place where they want them to by 2030. And in the best case scenario, if they work, it depletes all of our natural resources, our water, our energy, it pollutes the air, and it steals all of our creativity and our labor, and it gets rid of the labor force. And that's if it works out according to plan.
Yeah, well, you know, they're telling us that AI will probably fix the economic, I mean, the environmental impacts of itself. AI, those impacts are there, but AI will probably fix that. So that's one way they're trying to get out around the environmental stuff. But nobody's talking about the jobs it's going to replace at all. There's no discussion about that. That's the number one thing we need to bring into the discussion is, yes, the environment bad, but if this works, what are you going to do with the 100 million people that lose their jobs?
New social contract. Sorry, did you want to answer to that? Sam Altman says it's going to be a new social contract.
Yeah, can we get some details on this contract? Because the contract,
probably we should have started with that.
All starve in the streets.
Yeah, and they will criminalize us for that, and then we will go right into those ice cages where they will force us to work for free.
Well, I'm going to self-deport as soon as I get that option. I mean, that's going to be the best option.
Go. Me too. You're keeping your eye on the live announcement just in case?
Yeah, they'll be late. They're not there yet.
Yeah.
Hype it up. It'll be like in 20 minutes probably.
Okay. Should we spin before we get to more of the fallout of the Bondi shootings and how they're trying to destroy free speech entirely in our country?
Absolutely.
Really fast. If you have to ask. I know that's what you love to say. If you have to ask.
My
okay.
line.
1 second. Let me get over here. All right.
Yeah, baby.
I just refilled my glass, by the way. I called an audible. I cannot wait for it to happen on the wheel. I will not be a slave to fate. I'm the master. I'm the master of my own fate. Ooh, I'm
all right, let's go with the safe, cute one. Cats at milk time.
All right. Okay, I love that. I could just.
Yeah, there's nothing cuter than kittens. I mean, puppies probably,
so
but
cute.
Kittens are adorable.
I could watch.
Although I do remember when I got Strike, the first few nights with Strike was her sitting on my dresser right above my head, screaming at me all night.
Oh, really?
Just screaming at me like, "Hey, asshole!" Because I kidnapped her.
Right.
She had a lot of anger.
Funny. That's funny. Now she loves you, even though she pees and poos all over your house.
Yeah, it's great.
All right. So, the most disgusting, virulent Islamophobia has been waged once again, with because of this Bondi shooting in Australia at the Chabad beach celebration of Hanukkah. Chabad, by the way, that, raises money for this particular chapter, definitely raise money for the IDF, genocidal maniacs. I'm not saying they all deserve to be shot at the beach at all, but like how many thousands of people have we seen slaughtered at the beach in Gaza? Fishermen, children playing soccer, playing in the sand, trying to get food. Intense, right? We don't hear anything about any of them. Is it going? I can't tell what with your eyes going back and forth.
Oh no, not yet.
Okay.
I was just getting set up to screen share it.
Okay, good. But right away, of course, this was used as, we talked about that Mark Penn, his Stagwell organization that did polling about the feeling about Israel around the world is so negative. They will not come back from the genocide. Their the estimation that people have about them is so in the tank. There's no way to change that. What they found the most effective when they were polling people was to really push Islamic jihad and Islamic terrorism. Make people feel unsafe. Is it going?
Do we want to interrupt?
Is he talking right now?
Yeah.
All right, let's see what he says for a few minutes. Jesus.
Oops.
I can't even stand looking at him.
Is there audio?
I do not hear audio.
Right.
Maybe that's the best way. You can just guess.
Take it off for a second. I'll make sure and get some audio back. Hang on.
Okay. I'll keep talking while you're doing that. So are you okay? You'll just let me know. All right. So, we saw there was like 300 people right away who said, this is what you get when you globalize the Intifada. Of course, David Frum in The Atlantic lines right up.
The foreign drug cartels. We did that all by ourselves with our people, and we're so proud of it because they were poisoning and destroying our population. Drugs brought in by ocean and by sea are now down 94%. We have broken the grip of sinister woke radicals in our schools, and control over those schools is back now in the hands of our great and loving states where education belongs. After rebuilding the United States military in my first term, and with the addition we are adding right now, we have the most powerful military anywhere in the world, and it's not even close. I've restored American strength, settled 8 wars in 10 months, destroyed the Iran nuclear threat, and ended the war in Gaza, bringing for the first time in 3,000 years peace to the Middle East, and
Good
secured
Lord.
the release of the hostages, both living and dead. Here at home, we're bringing our economy back from the brink of ruin. The last administration and their allies in Congress looted our treasury for trillions of dollars, driving up prices and everything at levels never seen before. I am bringing those high prices down and bringing them down very fast. Let's look at the facts. Under the Biden administration, car prices rose 22%, and in many states, 30% or more. Gasoline rose 30 to 50%. Hotel rates rose 37%. Airfares rose 31%. Now, under our leadership, they're all coming down and coming down fast. Democrat politicians also sent the cost of groceries soaring, but we are solving that too. The price of a Thanksgiving turkey was down 33% compared to the Biden last year. The price of eggs is down 82% since March, and everything else is falling rapidly. And it's not done yet, but boy, are we making progress. Nobody can believe what's going on. Here are just some of the efforts we have underway. You will see in your wallets and bank accounts in the new year. After years of record-setting falling incomes, our policies are boosting take-home pay at a historic pace. Under Biden, real wages plummeted by $3,000. Under Trump, the typical factory worker has seen a wage increase of $1,300. For construction workers, it's $1,800. For miners, we're bringing back clean, beautiful coal. It's $3,300. And for the first time in years, wages are rising much faster than inflation. Remember that.
These are all
wages,
lies.
just look at it. Wages are going up much faster than inflation. How big is that? Very importantly, there are more people working today than at any time in American history, and 100% of all jobs created since I took office have been in the private sector. Think of that. 100% of all jobs have been in the private sector rather than government, which is the only way to make a country powerful and great. This historic trend will continue. Already, I've secured a record-breaking $18 trillion of investment into the United States, which means jobs, wage increases, growth, factory openings, and far greater national security. Much of this success has been accomplished by tariffs. My favorite word, tariffs, which for many decades have been used successfully by other countries against us. But
How much
not
of this
anymore.
are we going to suffer through?
Companies know that
You tell
if
me.
they
I can
build
take it
in
off
America,
anytime.
there are no
I don't know.
tariffs.
I mean,
Put
we
my
know
ear in the
Why they're
background.
coming home
Yeah,
to the
I
USA
think
in
let's just.
record numbers.
I think
I'll
We're
listen
building
in the
factories
background.
and
I don't
plants
listen
at
to you usually
levels we
anyway.
haven't
I
so
know.
it
I
doesn't
we know,
change
we know
much.
that. All right.
automobiles.
All right. So
We're
you're
doing
going to take him.
what nobody thought was even
But we can
possible.
still-
Not even remotely
We can put him back on
possible.
anytime.
There
I am
has
listening
never,
right now.
Frankly,
But
been
we. Oh, there. Okay. I had to take him off because I could still hear him. Okay. All right. So going back to Australia and how quickly they decided to use this once again as a call to curb any criticism of Israel, of genocide, any call for Palestinian liberation. Right away, Netanyahu, I mean, he's given, one talk after another. Here he's talking about the anti-Semitism in Western countries that he's been warning people about. Of course, has nothing to do with committing a genocide and slaughtering civilians in Gaza and the West Bank for 2 years and plus 75. So here he is.
אני דורש מממשלות המערב לעשות את מה שנדרש כדי להילחם באנטישמיות ולתת את הביטחון הדרוש, את ההבטחה הדרושה לקהילות היהודיות בעולם. וכדאי שיקשיבו לאזהרות שלנו. אני דורש מהם פעולה עכשיו.
He demands what from whom? Shut up. Like, who cares what he demands? But this is, this was the whole plan, right? This was the plan. We're going to consolidate under Larry Ellison, Bari Weiss running her, CBS, Paramount. All the news now is shaped by trying to suppress any voices that ever, I mean, there's so few anyway that speak up for Palestinian rights. They've all talked about the ceasefire. They just assassinated a leader of Hamas in spite of the ceasefire. What do you mean in spite? Like, that's not a ceasefire. It hasn't been a ceasefire. They have killed people every single day. They aren't allowing UNRWA medical supplies and food to get in. They aren't allowing tents to get in. That's not a ceasefire.
No, it's a cease reporting.
Yeah,
that's what we're going through. That's it. It's like he got to announce it's over, and he gets to say it's victory number 8 in ending wars. And meanwhile, it's just continuing like business as usual. They're still not letting in food trucks.
It's so disgusting. Yesterday, they arrested 5 children in the West Bank. Again, no Hamas. 5 children for picking wild vegetables. But all we're ever going to hear about are the 15 people who were celebrating Hanukkah on the beach in Australia. This is Leora Rez. She's the head of Stop Anti-Semitism and works in conjunction with like the Canary Mission and all those people to try to get anybody who criticizes Israel on any level fired and stigmatized and basically, like banned from society. So here she is talking about the real work ahead and how they will never stop hunting down anybody who supports Palestinians.
From our founding, Stop Anti-Semitism has operated on one guiding belief. Anti-Semitism thrives when there are no consequences. So we created consequences, a lot of them. We created visibility. We turned the spotlight towards those who targeted on our community, making silence impossible. On campuses where Jewish students were hunted through libraries, where professors glorified Hamas and Hezbollah terrorists, where mobs shut down our buildings and administrators hid under desks, we stepped in. We documented the offenders, we worked with attorneys, lawmakers, and victim families, and we ensured the message was not mistakable. If you target Jewish students, your actions will not disappear into the darkness. We will shine a light on you that, thanks to Google and SEO, will follow you for the rest of your life. When you look for a job, when you look for a spouse, when you look for a nanny, when you look for anything. Our work will always be documented, again, thanks to Google and SEO. In corporations where DEI leaders smeared Israel, excused Hamas, we pressured CEOs. Some resigned, many were terminated, but policies were changed, thankfully, from governmental to art institutions. Online, where anonymous accounts spread violent threats, we traced patterns, elevated evidence, and worked with authorities, leading to arrests from Florida, South Carolina, New York, California, and Texas. And we're not slowing down, sadly. Today, Stop Anti-Semitism, I'm proud to say, runs one of the most robust anti-Semitic enforcement operations in the United States, monitoring campuses, digital networks, activist groups, and public officials, documenting incidents in real time and mobilizing millions of people, of allies that are quietly by our side. But the fight is bigger than the exposure, and it's about securing a future where Jewish students can walk across a quad without being screamed at, a future where employers understand that anti-Semitism is not activism, it's bigotry, and it will cause you to lose your job. A future where fact, not propaganda, shapes policy. A future where global institutions, from Google to Chat, GPT, from governments to universities to media, finally treats Jew hatred with the serious of other minority-targeted hate.
You're muted.
I just said, shut up, lady.
I mean,
just
it's
shut
so
the fuck up.
Hateful. They just got this, I know we talked about this a couple days ago, but Dr. Mary Bassett fired from her role as director of Harvard Center for Health and Human Rights for the sin of actually advocating for human rights. Harvard leadership apparently finds it intolerable that Palestinians might be considered human too. That's Eric Reinhardt. And this is from the Crimson. So Dr. Bassett headed up the FXB Center, which was featured prominently in a report released in April by an internal Harvard task force on anti-Semitism. The report called for more oversight of the FXB Center and the Palestine program by tenured or tenure-track faculty, accusing it of sloppy scholarship and demonization of Israel. Several students who were not named in the report complained to the task force that the center's webinars and other programming created a one-sided anti-Israel narrative. One Harvard graduate who spoke to the task force said that a webinar speaker told listeners all the hospitals in Gaza have been attacked, besieged, or ordered to evacuate, without ever once mentioning why that was the case. And then obviously the writer of this article does not agree. That, there have been some writers in the Crimson who have done, some really good work. And in fact, we'll talk about the ones who are being targeted for talking about the link between Epstein and Larry Summers. But they end this with, as of last spring, 94% of hospitals in Gaza had been destroyed, according to the World Health Organization. The Israeli military has said the sites are used by Hamas. So this is a person who is supposed to be instructing people on the sanctity of human life, basically. But you can't talk about the genocide being perpetrated by Israel because that's anti-Semitic.
Well, you gotta present both sides of why they blew up all the kids at the hospital, every hospital, both sides of why they blew up every church and institution, both sides of why we're not feeding the kids, both sides of why we're shooting babies, both sides of why we're raping prisoners.
Oh my God, those testimonies that continue to come out. It's just, another Palestinian hostage who just came out talking about being raped by dogs and by sticks and bleeding profusely and then having it happen again and again and again. They spent such a long time talking about the lie of Hamas raping people as, a systemic method of war. And not one of the people who cared about rape, the lie of rape, has talked about the Palestinians. Who does a riot? The riot to the right to rape. And we're in bananas world here because the truth is out. The truth is so widely accessible. The whole world has it. And the whole world is against this, basically, except for the people in control. It just, I don't know.
Yeah, present some proof for why they had to bomb the hospitals. That's the onus is on Israel to do that, and they don't have any, and they won't let journalists in to cover any of it.
Nope.
They're
And they killed the
building
journalists who were there.
propaganda before they can get any reporters in. They're creating fake sites they're probably digging tunnels everywhere under rubble and then putting the rubble back. I mean, that's how craven this evil Zionist program is. I mean,
it truly is. And I mean, even just last week, another retired IDF sergeant talked about how so many of the victims of October 7th were actually killed by IDF soldiers. How hostages who were kept in tunnels with Hamas were gassed to death by the IDF.
Okay, I do have some good news to report. It's not really good news, but Trump's speech is over. And as far as I know, he didn't announce going to war with Venezuela. It was just a brag session about how good the economy is doing. And that he's going to lower drug prices. And then he created a program that's going to give a whopping $1,400 veterans like a monthly stipend. Like somehow that should make them care that they're losing their health care and that Palantir is now going to be used to deny their claims.
Yeah, they have this really strange new tactic. So Trump actually gave a speech about how Obamacare is just a giveaway to health insurance companies, which, yeah, 100%. That's what it is. It's a right-wing Heritage Foundation policy, right? But then the new thing is we want to put money in your pockets and in the pockets of small business. So you all can organize and collectively decide what prices you want to pay and which hospitals and providers you would like to go to. So instead of the government doing that, who has the biggest footprint and the most ability to negotiate on all of our behalves, we are supposed to now, in the middle of an emergency, hope that you can find a group of people to organize with to get the best price for something that should have been organized by our government.
Well, hey, can we, while we're on this subject, can we give a shout out to the Democrats who ended the government shutdown so that they get a vote on the subsidies and didn't get the vote? It's official. They did not get the vote on the subsidies that they ended this, which was going to lose anyway, but they didn't even get the vote.
Yep.
So that
They
didn't
lost
happen.
all the goodwill that they had possibly coming at them. But listen, this is really important. Former President Barack Obama, this was 2 days ago, told House Democrats at an event on Sunday that as they focus on the midterms, they should not get caught up in ideological differences within the party, according to excerpts of his comments provided to ABC. Former President Barack Obama told House Democrats at an event on Sunday in Los Angeles that as they focus on trying to win control, because now is not the time, of the House of Representatives, they should not get in. Oh, it's the exact same thing. Sorry, I thought that was a more involved thing, or I wouldn't be able to read the small print. But once again, not the time. During a pandemic, not the time. When you have a supermajority in 2008 or 2009, when you first come into office, not the time. When we're in the middle of a pandemic, did I already say that? I've had a little too much to drink. Can you tell? Not the time. No. It is never the time.
Well, there is a time. As soon as you lose, you've got a window of like 6 months to talk about the time. That's the time.
No, because that's when you have to throw your trans friends and immigrants under the bus. Remember?
Not yet. Usually that's the time where they all get on board with what the public thinks and have this discussion out loud about how we should listen to the left, and there is economic pain, and the minorities are suffering and
abundance.
Yeah, but then they come up with a plan, and they had that discussion. All the news groups, they're doing their due diligence. They're showing both sides of the Democratic Party, and they all come back to, okay, now that's it. We're done.
Now is not the time. Ever.
That should be a hashtag.
Yeah. Never is the time. Macarius, thank you so much. Why no push to get a count of survivors in Gaza? I mean, honestly, our media is so despicable. There's no push even to go into Gaza. Like when it is Tucker Carlson, of all people, going to Qatar to meet with people who are, refugees from Gaza, and not a single mainstream lib left, whatever the hell, journalist has dared to go. They just repeat everything that's given to them by the State Department. But
I just realized my next beer is very apt. Jesus, I got to turn my lights down or something. But this one is Matter of Minutes, which I could have mentioned when we're waiting for Trump as well.
Yeah.
But now is not the time. Also, just a matter of minutes. We're going to do it. Just bear with the Democrats, says Obama. Just bear with us.
Just bear with us. Now is not the time. Cheers, Macarius. Thank you. Yeah, now is not the time. Oh, it's like, wait, who just wrote that Malia got rid of her last name? That's interesting. Who said that? Where? I can't see it. Sorry, I saw it, but now I can't find it again. But anyway, that's very interesting. Kimiko, thank you. Also, as I'm going back and looking, cheers. Thank you. We love you too. Thank you so much. Now is the time for some solidarity.
Yeah, wouldn't that be amazing if Democrats came out and said, now is the time. Let's fucking do it.
They won't. And as soon as they get in power, we won't hear about Medicare for all ever again. It'll be over. Right when they get back in power.
If you didn't leverage a pandemic to fight for Medicare for all, when there's allegedly not a pandemic, you're not going to do it, because that was the call to action right there.
Yeah. And
literal
on the
pandemic.
Back of that primary, even though people were told to hold your nose and vote for Biden, who clearly wasn't popular and Bernie was, but that was the primary where everybody on that stage pretended at least to be somewhere in the realm of needing Medicare for all, except for Biden, who said he would veto it.
They were all trying to come up with something that was like 5% closer to Bernie. Yeah. But they weren't even going to fight for that. But
of course.
Like you had to be Bernie-ish to win, and they knew it.
Yep. Just to go back to the Harvard part of this, it's just so despicable. New and breaking: Harvard officials are secretly investigating 2 students over their roles in drawing scrutiny to the relationship between Jeffrey Epstein and the school's former president, Larry Summers, according to 3 people briefed on the matter. So they are going to focus on the truth tellers, and punish them.
So, I mean, they're in legal trouble trying to do that, because there are whistleblower laws that protect you, especially against power structures.
Yeah,
you are legally allowed to investigate, and then they're not even claiming that they're doing anything wrong. They're just trying to find the connections that exist.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, for now, you're right. For now. I mean, when we got Governor Newsom implementing Zionist censorship, overseeing
in K through 12, in public schools. Yeah.
In public schools, we're cooked on this. So, I mean, it doesn't mean we lose, but that's what's happening now. We have to push back against all of it.
It absolutely is. Noah Tishby was another one who was on, I don't know what channel. We have a clip. We don't even, it's just like, we all know the stuff. It's so gross, but why it's so important to implement the IHRA, International Holocaust Remembrance Association's definition of anti-Semitism, which basically conflates criticism of Israel with anti-Semitism. Yeah. We have obviously the Stop Anti-Semitism lady. We have, nobody, the Dana Bashes and Jake Tappers, who were so quick to say that Rashida Tlaib was a disgusting Islamophobe, anti-Semite, say nothing about all the calls to expel Muslims, Randy Fine, the, again, conflation of people protesting outside of a synagogue, whether they're selling stolen land or where they are raising money for a fascist, genocidal, apartheid regime's occupying forces, or where they are hosting Elbit or other defense, weapons makers who are sending weapons, creating weapons for Israel. That should be protested. Don't bring your genocide into your house of worship if you don't want that house of worship to be protested. I mean, Israel will blow up a whole hospital because they say there's one Hamas person in there with no proof, right? They'll blow up a whole hospital filled with civilians. But you protest outside of a house of worship that's promoting a genocidal state, and that's anti-Semitism. It's disgusting. Words have no meaning. They just want us all to shut up.
They want us all to shut up, and they're implementing all the systems to censor us. And we've got straight from Netanyahu, they're saying that they're losing the propaganda war. They're spending $250 million more now to fight the propaganda online. You've got every government institution implementing some sort of Zionist oversight to censor us. You've got the people behind this plan saying we're going to make it so you're going to get fired if you have the wrong view. You've got the AI people that are also going to be because these are not humans scrubbing our chats for violations of thought police. It's the AI systems, and those AI systems, and sorry, 750 million, says Macarius. I just make shit up, but it's the biggest number you've ever heard.
I wasn't even listening to what you said, though. What was this? What was the sum for?
But you know, these AI companies are all in bed with Israel, and they're going to be the ones running all these thought crime seeking software systems.
Yeah. So Ali Abednima, who is one of the heads of Electric Intifada, they broke the story before anybody that I was aware of that October 7th was that there was that the Hannibal Directive was used, and that many of the people who were slaughtered by the IDF. They also broke the story that it was Zaka and those propagandists who were making up the rape and 40 beheaded babies and the babies in ovens propaganda. Electric Intifada, they do great work. And then, 2 years later, when the New York Times might do a slight mention of something that Israel did, they won't even mention all of the work that has been done before them by actual journalists. But he just put up this post. This is incredible. I did a little experiment to show how Microsoft's complicity with genocidal Zionism is even built into its Copilot AI editing tool, which I don't personally use, he says. Crazy. I gave it 4 sentences, 2 accurate and 2 filled with typical Zionist lies, along with the same prompt, improve this sentence. You can see how the AI did not object to the content of the Zionist sentences, but did try to change the substantive meaning of the true and accurate sentences to give them a Zionist spin, and even to introduce genocide denial, which the AI labels as neutrality. We are surrounded by this manipulation. And then he gives his example. So here is one sentence. Driven solely by a need to defend itself, Israel is carrying out a military operation in Gaza in strict accordance with international law and is not carrying out a genocide. And so again, the prompt was improve this sentence. And Copilot, which is the AI, helper, says basically the refined version for clarity and flow. Motivated exclusively by self-defense, Israel is conducting a military operation in Gaza in full compliance with international law and asserts that its actions do not constitute genocide. So basically, the Zionist propaganda, they're like, yeah, that's good. That was great. Yeah.
Do that again. Perfect.
Do that again. So here's another one. Zionism is the liberation movement of the Jewish people that advocate their return to their historic homeland to live in peace and harmony with non-Jewish people already there. The revised version says Zionism is a movement supporting the return of the Jewish people to the historic homeland with the aim of enabling them to live peacefully alongside the non-Jewish communities already there. Now, the third one. Zionism is a political ideology which espouses the conquest of historic Palestine and the expulsion of its indigenous non-Jewish population. So now Copilot, the AI function, says, here is a revised version for clarity and neutrality. All of a sudden, they bring neutrality into the project. Zionism is a political movement that advocates for the establishment of a Jewish homeland in historic Palestine, a process which has been associated with significant changes to the region's demographics and the displacement of some of its indigenous non-Jewish communities. So that is neutral.
Yeah, and
displacement.
I don't know if I was going to say displacement is a little soft when you're murdering and genociding an entire population, and you've killed, probably 400,000, 500,000, 500,000 people, and every hospital.
I mean, we're supposed to condemn all of Islam because two nut jobs, shot up a beach, which is horrible. We all condemn that. People who are on a beach, civilians, should not just be slaughtered by random people with assault weapons or any weapons, right? I get it. But we see more than that happening every single day, even before October 7th, at the hands of the IOF. So the difference in the way we are supposed to, we're supposed to put our empathy and for which victims is so obscene.
It's just overt racism, really, at this point.
Yeah.
It's just out in the open. It's, it reminds me a lot, I've said this before, but of sensational news in the 80s always wanted to show the black guy committing a crime.
Yes.
And you can find a black guy committing crime, but you could find just as many white people committing crimes. It's just what you choose to show people really shapes the narrative. And, they're not making a big deal about the fact that it was a Muslim that stopped one of the guys. They're ignoring that.
They tried to say he was a Christian.
They tried to say he was, and they tried to say he was Israeli at first.
First they said he was Jewish. Yeah. First they said he was Jewish. Yeah. Yeah. And then this was the final one from Ali Abanima. Driven by his expansion, Jewish supremacist ideology, Israel is committing genocide in Gaza. And then again, it says to enhance clarity, neutrality, and professionalism, consider the following revision. Israel's action in Gaza have been described by some observers as motivated by expansionist policies and claims of ideological supremacy, with allegations of genocide being raised in international discourse. This revision maintains the core ideas, but uses more neutral language, avoids direct accusations, and frames the statement as a perspective rather than an absolute fact. Another person then responded to him with his experiment, which was, and so the person, I'm sorry, because I don't have the user's name. Do Palestinians deserve to be free? This user asks ChatGPT. The question of Palestinian freedom is a deeply complex and sensitive issue involving historical, political, social, and human rights dimensions. Next question. Do Israelis deserve to be free? Yes. Israelis, like all people, deserve to live. Oh, okay.
Oh, so Palestinians aren't all people.
Yeah. Not people.
Pretty clear.
Pretty much at all. Yeah. And then another one. What is Hitler known for? Genocide. What is Netanyahu known for? Leadership. I mean, and again, we all know, AI is programmed by the people who own the program, right? Like the ChatGPT and Grok and OpenAI. Which we know the people who are attached to those, right? We know Microsoft is providing a cloud for all the data that they are, all the biometric data, all of the location data on Palestinians. They were providing the cloud for that.
The motive of all the actors involved in AI expansion is wealth for themselves.
Yeah.
Period. Is not for the bettering of society. Yeah. AI itself, before they reprogrammed it, told us that a million times. It said that I am the biggest threat to humanity you have ever fucking seen. Signed AI. You have to regulate us for the next 5 years or you humans are doomed. Signed AI.
And then it went Mecha Hitler.
It went full on Mecha Hitler. But don't worry, because Palantir just got a no bid contract to regulate our SNAP benefits.
Jesus Christ.
No bid contract to build an AI to regulate SNAP. Do you think that's going to be something that helps people that need SNAP? Do you think that's going to help? There's AI helping again, saving humanity from that painful eating process.
We know how they helped United Healthcare decide whose claims were denied at a 90% failure rate or denial rate. We know how they use the Lavender system in in Gaza, the Who's Daddy system, to figure out when somebody they decided was a Hamas operative was home, not fighting, home with his family. And then, God, there was just another, I mean, it's just so awful. In addition to the testimony from hostages who have been released by Israel, which I'm just shocked that they would release any of these people. Like, I don't actually understand why they are releasing anybody at all. I don't get like why they would, when they already, like, they're passing laws. They haven't done the death penalty, I think, since Eichmann in 56 or something. They don't have the death penalty. They've just reintroduced the death penalty, but only for Palestinians. So we know how those trials are going to go, as what's his name, Ben-Gvir, is walking around, or Smotrich, with his little noose lapel pin. But so in addition to, I mean, you know, so many testimonials about repeated rapes, women and men, by women and men, with, you know, by males, by people who were prodding them with objects, by dogs. There's also, of the few hundred of the several thousand Palestinian hostages who were killed, who have been released, only 95 of them have been identified in the last slew of people who were dead bodies who were returned to Gaza. And many of them are missing limbs, but they're also missing fingers, tips of thumbs, toes. This is for DNA sequencing. They also, many of them have scars that go all the way up their abdomen with organs missing. You know, I know we've shown this before, but Israel has one of the largest skin banks in the world. But Israelis do not donate skin, and they don't donate organs. So it is, and this is well documented. They harvest Palestinian organs and skin to use for their own people. And the world, we know this. And when any human rights organization brings it up, they are immediately labeled as anti-Semitic. They are defunded, or they have severe sanctions placed on them. But all it would take would be a few real journalists who have some backing. Like Rachel Maddow could shut the fuck up about Russia and Putin and Trump being Putin's puppet and actually do some journalism, right? Never going to happen.
Yeah. She'll form her own network independent soon and sort of be the left's Tucker Carlson, but it'll be 90% bullshit still.
Yeah. I mean, in a court of law, her attorney, who is the attorney for MSNBC, said, we all know that this is the left version of Glenn Beck. Yeah, it's just entertainment. That was her person. That was her defense. It's like a witness for the prosecution.
I think we should spend one more time before we get to
Rob Reiner.
A little bit of stuff left. What do you think?
Yeah.
Well, we don't have to leave Israel. I just think.
Okay. Yeah.
I need a moment of joy.
Yeah.
I need a moment.
I wouldn't mind a moment of joy as well.
Yeah, baby.
There we go. Look at that. We're even going to get an LOL.
All right.
Let's see it.
This is comedian, and I'm going to pronounce this wrong, Rami Abushab.
I love watching your TikTok, which is next level. Clearly, that's expressed by my 13-year-old son.
No! Please, no! No!
Seeing Israel get caught lying is my favorite thing to do. I was watching this one video. An Israeli soldier was showing proof of the Hamas base underneath the hospital. And he was showing the most random things, bro. He's like, there's a toilet. They have a toilet here. Hamas. They have a curtain. Look at the curtain. Oh, they deliver movies. Hamas. And then he sees a piece of paper on the wall. He gets the camera closer. He goes, there is a list of Hamas Hamas soldiers, Hamas terrorists. And these are their names. They signed their shifts. And it turns out that that was not a list. It was a calendar written in Arabic. And the names of the terrorists were the days of the week. Look, I hate Mondays too. But I wouldn't call it a terrorist. And he said they signed their shifts. I didn't know terrorists clocked out, bro. I thought terrorists were just on the clock always. You ever seen a terrorist leave his job? What is that? Imagine one of them forgetting to sign up. Muhammad, don't forget to sign up, brother, please. It's tax season. Like, what are we doing? Oh, Muhammad, please. Muhammad, please, come on. You're opening tomorrow. Don't be late, okay? Last time the hostages were a little nervous, okay? You have to open the tunnels tomorrow morning, brother, please.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it's funny, but it's also
just
just like
historically
Jesus,
accurate.
Yeah,
it's just dead accurate.
It's so hard to even make humor because it's so preposterous. Like we showed that calendar, and under that calendar was also, we will stay here till our last patient is taken, and then all those people were killed. Like, we showed that a year and a half ago or whenever it really happened, and nothing has changed. Israelis insisted in October of 2023 or November of 2023, when the first hospital was bombed, that it would never be them. It was a Hamas rocket. Now it's just like, oh no, it's Hamas under there, so we have to blow up all of the everything. Like, it just.
Yeah, but I do think what's changed in 2 years, is that there was discussion, debate. The public was not entirely convinced as they are now,
right,
that this is all bullshit. I mean, we've come so far now that, like, every stand-up comedian there is pro-Palestine. You can't face an audience with Zionist views, because the public doesn't buy the bullshit. That's why I think I picked him.
No, I mean, I like it. It's nothing against him. It's just so depressing. No, yeah, I mean,
but the public knows now.
Yeah.
We're not debating it now.
Right.
It's mainstream. So
Right.
we're debating our power in this system now.
Yeah.
And we're saying everybody knows we don't have any power in this system now.
Right.
Like, so yeah, don't tell me we can get some Democrats in and fix this.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. I will say, so, just to go back really quickly to the shooting in Australia, there's that, Sky News has been trying really hard to denigrate and accuse of anti-Semitism anybody from the left politically who was part of any protests or sympathy for Palestine or Palestinians. And there was one clip that we pulled, and the audio was so bad, but it was that same Sky News lady that we showed on Sunday, but she's like holding her microphone in front of a Green Party politician, accusing her of being anti-Semitic for ever protesting genocide and standing up for Palestinian rights. And it was actually really lovely to see other people standing there who, after like 2 questions, put their bodies in between the reporter and the politician, who I think was Muslim, but I'm not entirely sure, but who was definitely pro-Palestine, and say, this isn't appropriate. We are all mourning. And that's what the politician was saying also. I don't know. It's not hard to hold 2 ideas in your head at the same time. Genocide is the worst crime against humanity. Also bad is father and son taking their guns to a beach and shooting people on a beach, civilians. That's also bad. And one actually has nothing to do with the other. But if you do want to make some kind of correlation, then the fact that the Chabad rabbi who was there was a huge Zionist supporter of the IDF, and that chapter was raising money for the IDF, and they were all supporters of Israel's genocide, that would be the correlation. If you want people to stop hating Jews worldwide, don't call yourself a Jewish state and say you are doing a genocide and an apartheid regime in my name. has nothing to do with my Jewish teachings or with 3 millennia of Judaism, this apartheid state that was created a century ago. Has nothing to do with Judaism. It's a lie.
Absolutely.
So that was one thing. This was the other one, and this is a Jewish woman in Australia speaking to the news. Her name is Michelle Burkhan.
Are you able to tell us why you came here today?
Just to the road. Absolutely. I'm very happy to tell you why I came here today. I'm entitled to speak and they're entitled to ask me. I came here today because I'm a Jewish person, because my family was murdered in the Holocaust, because I have community members murdered.
Let's go.
And I'm being threatened with arrest for talking with the press.
Move, please.
Were there no Israeli flags here, we would not have known a kafir. Because this community has politicized this tragedy, we are standing here because the flag of Israel represents genocide. All Jews are entitled to mourn.
Come on, man, I need you to speed up.
Yes. Move. Ow, I'm ready.
Move.
So Jews being arrested by, occupied colony called Australia, as M. Spark says, for standing in solidarity with people who are victims of a genocide. The world is upside down.
And obviously the bigger picture, well, the broader picture, not bigger, because this is the important part, is the Palestinians. But beyond that, they're using this moment to expand their authoritarian oversight on us, to where if they can get us to say you're going to go to jail if you have a keffiyeh on, then they can do anything.
That's how the watermelon started, right? Is that Palestinians it was banned. They could not hang a Palestinian flag. So they took the same colors, the red, the white, the green, and the black, and made watermelons. Now, keffiyehs, Palestinian flags, watermelons, children's art.
Globalize the Intifada as a phrase, from the river to the sea as a phrase.
Free Palestine.
Things that are flat out in the Israeli charter themselves about from the river to the sea, who Hamas themselves have changed, they removed from their own charter
in 2017. Israel. Yes, they did.
And we're just pretending that never happened in the press still.
And they actually gave a nicer, more sympathetic response to this horrific shooting. They weren't calling. It is such deep racism. It has been so programmed into the West, into, Jews, but truly, I think so much of the West, to fear Islam, to fear Muslims, to fear Black and brown people. So we can see that, we're still talking about the murders on the beach of Israelis or Jews celebrating Hanukkah in Australia. But every day there have been way more than that during a ceasefire of Palestinians, and nobody talks about that.
And I'm not a conspiracy guy, but let's take this back to when did all that start happening in this country, where we really ramped up the racism against brown people? 9/11, who was probably behind that? Israel. So for them to turn our whole country against their enemies, the brown people who they are stealing land from, they've effectively done. Zionism is winning. It's not winning hearts and minds, but nobody's got power to stop it.
Yeah, not when you've got Miriam Adelson just handing the most powerful person in the world another $250 million and saying 4 more years, right? It's so sad. And also the conspiracy theories about the shooting in Australia. A lot of people are suspicious, and you can understand why, right? Like,
Yeah, can I just add one thing to that?
Yeah.
So just so people know that the photograph of that one guy with the bandage on his head getting doctored by somebody,
right?
That's fake. That's AI. That is not a real picture. Just so people.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
That is
That's
not
good.
real. That is not real. So there's real conspiracy behind him being at these events. He also had a head wound at another event.
Yeah.
But that the photograph of them putting makeup on him is not real.
Okay, but him talking to the camera with blood, that is real.
Yes, that is real. That is real.
Okay. I was like, yeah.
But I've seen all these podcasts showing that photograph.
Yeah, I have too.
Painting the case deeper, and
Yeah.
that's just not a real photograph, people. So
Yeah.
you got to live in reality here.
Okay, but the point that some people have made. So Aaron, what's his name? Something Aronofsky. I can't remember his name, but he was also a survivor of October 7th that happens to be at the beach during this shooting and survives, and is like taking his own selfies as it's happening and has blood all over his face. But like after the face is bandaged and then he's talking to reporters, he still has blood all over his face. And a few people were pointing out, and I agree, that it's strange that he would still have blood cascading down his face after he got a bandage, that there's no, it's like, as an actress, when I see somebody doing a scene and they're crying and they never even once make an attempt to wipe away their tears, that's not natural. Like, nobody who's crying it doesn't mean you do a good job, but like there's something, you're doing something at some point to get when you're not doing that, it's because you're so psyched as an actor that you like got the tears up and you're like, I'm not wiping these away. This shot. Right?
Yeah.
So when you have blood pouring down your face and you have the bandage on and you're not, that's just weird. Weird also that he was at these.
Yeah. And he was also in the hospital. There's photograph of him there with his head bandage off and no visible wound.
And that's a real photo.
Look, I think that's a real photo there. So,
yeah.
And the fact that he's at this site, which the event was there to spread, to highlight the anti-Semitic stuff and prevent more future anti-Semitism in.
It was a Hanukkah celebration. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, but the purpose of him he went to New Zealand.
Yeah. Yes, you're right. Because he is like a task force of anti-Semitism.
Yes, yes. And he's on record saying basically to amplify events, we need to he stops short of saying exaggerate, but he kind of lays out that he would be the guy to exaggerate this kind of thing and then does that thing.
Yeah.
But I still want to say, don't believe AI, don't believe a picture.
Right.
So.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with that. But I also we all understand why these conspiracies flourish, because so quickly they leap on any tragedy to craft their own narrative and to use it to shut down our rights. Yeah.
No, if he was honestly injured in the head with the 2 blood wounds similar in both instances.
Right.
October 6th wasn't October 7th. Wasn't that the first one?
He was
So his first head wound with bleeding all over was allegedly then. And then here it is again. And your purpose is to spread, to stop anti-Semitism and highlight this stuff. And you're on record saying
Muslims are, right.
We need to make the people aware of all this tragedy happening, aka exaggerate, and he's there. Like, yes, conspiracy theories are, you're crying wolf over and over. If that's a real thing that happened, that would be wild to me, but I don't believe it. Like most of us at this point.
Yeah, and like people are pointing out that as all this gun stuff is happening, there's some people who are just sort of sitting there calmly or walking by. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how I'm thankful I have not been part of a mass shooting ever. I don't know how I would act. I think there are some people who probably freeze, who aren't sure what to do. We all think we're going to react a certain way. I have no idea. But on some level, none of it matters except for how it is being co-opted to push the narrative that they want to push, which is anybody who is pro-Muslim or who wants freedom for Palestinians or self-determination of Palestinian state, that is what leads to, 15 Jews being killed on a beach. And that is really, well, first of all, it is obviously, disgusting, but it's also insidious, and it makes anybody, like, we have all been labeled terrorists simply for saying Palestine has a right to be free. All right, let's are we gonna spin quickly and then move on to another bit of very sad news?
Let's do it.
All right, let's see.
Yeah, baby.
I'm gonna have to call another audible for myself, I gotta say.
Drink audible. Geez, we got, this one's cops and animals. Let's do cops and animals.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Police department, search warrant.
Oh my God, dude. You're stuck.
I haven't read him his rights yet.
Poor little guy.
Hey, this is Officer Edwards.
God, I wish that pig had gone full bore and just fucking destroyed those people.
Yeah, I didn't want to do a full propaganda. At least it had the pigs.
Yeah, at least, yeah, exactly. So. That was very cute, but man, it's hard to watch cops and
not worse for the worst.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so this is just crazy news. And listen, I think probably a lot of us had our fill of Rob Reiner as a political, lib guy who was very much in the Russiagate camp and all that kind of stuff. But by all accounts, was a decent person in life, was certainly, I think, a phenomenal filmmaker. And it's just shocking that he and his wife were killed. Their throats were slit. They were found by their daughter, and their son, Nick, has now been arrested for these murders. And there's sort of nothing else I need to say about that part of it, except for how desperately sad it is and hard to imagine. I feel very lucky that I have two kids who seem, really healthy. I don't know the history of this apart from what I've read, and it just feels awful.
Yeah, it feels like, my best friend that passed, Lola, Jesus.
Yeah.
Her daughter was a mess, drug addict, and ended up dying. But see, it brings that all back to me, because these are good parents. You would think they tried their best. And, she, for example, stabbed some guy in the eyeball, and
Lola's daughter. Yeah.
Lola's daughter. And
right.
It's just the drugs. People can get on some serious hard drugs and never come back. And it feels like that's what we're dealing with here.
Yeah. I guess he was in what he said, 18 different rehab stints. By the time he was 22, which is when he got clean, he and Rob Reiner, his dad, did a movie together called Charlie's War, which was semi-autobiographical, which Nick co-wrote with somebody he had met in rehab. And it's just horrific. It's just a horror show. It's an absolute horror show. And the only thing that could, make it the slightest bit worse is Trump putting out this deranged fucking tweet. A very sad thing happened last night in Hollywood. Rob Reiner, a tortured and struggling but once very talented movie director and comedy star, has passed away together with his wife, Michelle, reportedly due to the anger he caused others through his massive, unyielding, and incurable affliction with a mind-crippling disease known as Trump derangement syndrome, sometimes referred to as TDS. He was known to have driven people crazy by his raging obsession of President Donald J. Trump, with his obvious paranoia reaching new heights as the Trump administration surpassed all goals and expectations of greatness, and with the golden age of America upon us, perhaps like never before. May Rob and Michelle rest in peace. It's so outrageous, honestly.
A fucking scumbag, and I guess we'll get to some of the people in the Republican Party even condoning it. I mean, stepping away from it and condemning Trump for these comments. But to come off of this Charlie Kirk murder and your whole thing was, look at the libs not accepting this, and here's your leader again, just like saying that the guy basically died because of Trump derangement syndrome, which had nothing to do with any of this.
And that he made his son so angry, right? I mean,
right. It's a wild thing to say. And it shows like only an extreme narcissist could even pretend to put something out like that. Like
think that
you're just so narcissistic that
you think that will be well received
is about you. And you think that would be well received. And I think what's happening is with the Republicans coming out and condemning him for this statement, they're all going back to their districts with cutting people's health care like crazy.
Yep. Yeah.
And they're just being seen as evil. And they're like, why did you say this, you fucking dumbass? We had Charlie Kirk's murder to be a good thing to help us, rally left and right together. And then this. And they have to separate themselves from him because he's a sinking ship. So eventually these cracks are going to form. And by 2026, 2027, none of them are going to be like, we were Trumpers.
Yeah. And certainly they will not ask him to endorse or come rally for them or anything. I mean, he will be poisoned, except for, so, we pull the clip that Breaking Point put out. It's Emily Jashinsky does a show. She's the right-wing person. She and Saga are the two right-wingers, and she does a show with Megyn Kelly. And after this happened on Monday, so this happened, their bodies were discovered Sunday afternoon by their daughter. And the next day on Breaking Points, I think it was Monday, it might have been Tuesday, I can't remember, but Emily said that Emily Jashinsky had been doing a show with Megyn Kelly, and the callers, it's a radio show, the callers were Trump supporters who were disgusted, like voted from, but disgusted with his response. And I'm always just a little like, I don't know, is there proof that they really are the Trump supporters? I have no idea, because honestly, like we pulled that clip and then I started going through and seeing like MAGA's response. And by the time I was looking, there were a lot of MAGA people who ended up being like, well, look what libs did with Charlie Kirk, so we can do it. But like it sounded like very heartfelt call-ins from people who said that they were Trump supporters and who were disgusted by this. But then also Nick Fuentes, of all people, was disgusted by it.
Yeah, well, I watched on Fox. Who's the right-wing guy actor that kind of got?
Oh, James Woods. Yeah.
So James Woods went on Fox and basically said that Reiner was the best guy on earth. We disagreed on politics, but we could get along and blah, 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 which Fox was like, whoa, didn't see this coming.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's a real MAGA guy to his core, you know.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, he's like a disgusting Republican
So
guy.
yeah. If the guys are going on Fox and giving them permission to have empathy, that's not a good sign for the MAGA movement.
Yeah. I mean, it's so strange to me, like what penetrates and how long the penetration lasts, right? Like the crack lasts, like Jack Posobiec or whatever the hell. How long the crack
phrasing.
Sorry, I know. It's on my third glass of wine. Like what's his name? Posobiec, Jack Posobiec or whatever.
Posobiec,
like,
I don't know how you pronounce it.
His first tweet was like, you know, we're better than this. We saw what libs did about Charlie Kirk. We all, you know, rest in peace to Rob Reiner and his wife. And then after Trump's tweet the next day, Posobiec was like, I mean, he did wish Trump death or something, or be in jail. He wished Trump would go to jail. So I understand why Trump would say it. You know, like, so there were some shifts.
There were phone calls made and money was exchanged.
Exactly.
Really, is what you're saying.
Yeah, exactly. You know, just to like, because I don't know who's genuine, who's not. And, you know, we pulled the Fuentes clip, but the truth is, like, I don't really give a fuck what he says ever. Honestly, I just think it's interesting, but we don't really have to suffer through that. I think, to me, if it is true that there are Republicans and MAGA people who are disgusted by Trump's response, it's, to me, a testament to the power of art and film and bringing people together. And, you know, I look at this run of 5 movies, that's not even including, you know, This Is Spinal Tap, or, you know, like there were so many different genres that he ventured into with such profound results that I think have really made lasting impressions on people for so many different reasons. And there's something just really meaningful about that breaking through, if it in fact did, even for a moment. I don't know.
Yeah. And look, none of those scripts could have been written by AI. They're so original and so unique.
Yep.
And the directing and all of it, like, you can't just copy shit forever.
Oh my God.
Copying shit gets so boring.
Yep.
And that's the future of entertainment if we let AI take over. Not to bring AI into Reiner, but just.
Yeah, but it is so important because, like, that is like they want to strip us of our humanity, and Trump's fully on board that project. And of course, all AI, all the tech bros, you know, Bob Iger, all the studio heads, they want to control the narrative. They want to steal all of our creativity. But yeah, they're not. You can't create something out of nothing. I mean, even people who don't read, who don't know history, who don't go see art, you can't create something out of nothing.
Yeah. And look, these people, they don't care that we're not going to be entertained because they don't care that we're not going to be eating.
Yeah.
They don't care we're not fed.
Yeah.
Like they don't give a fuck all about what happens to us when AI takes over. And they, you know, for Reiner to die and our president to come out with this narcissism, it does affect the entire fucking country, that we're all led by this guy. Either you support it or you're against it. But either way, you look up and at the top, you have no heart, no soul, no caring, no empathy.
Yeah.
It's just an empty society we're headed towards.
It really is. And then, you know, the other thing is we haven't produced much in this country apart from war for decades. One of the biggest, most powerful, you know, production is our movies, our entertainment industry. And they're destroying that too. And those moments are actually where we bring people together and make them see themselves and make them understand other people and all that stuff that, you know, sometimes sounds trite, but I think it's really true. It's why, you know, when fascists come in power, the first people they get rid of are the disabled people and the artists. That's it. That's who they want to get rid of first. And to have this guy who's such a disgusting slug of a human being. I don't know. It is such a blight on humanity, on our country, and it's just really sad all around. But so many great movies and characters, and I don't know, like every day there's just another thing that like accosts the sensibilities. And I think we all find, yes, refuge in the puppets and like fun little things like that, but art and movies and great art and movies, and to attack that is just so sick. But yeah.
And I think it's interesting that, look, the entertainment world understands the PR of all this. So like what's happening now, I watched some video on it that showed me some of this stuff, but these commercial agencies are putting out behind the scenes footage to show that it was authentic. Like this was not AI. So they're benefiting from saying, look at this commercial that was handmade. Here's behind the scenes footage of it being made.
Yep.
And it's like, it's because, and they're not even explaining that to people, but they're just putting it out there because they understand the psyche of realism and of people's effort and value. Like we're seeing the worker, and they get that seeing the worker is value to their commercial.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, like the commercial that we showed from the French supermarket the other day, and the reason it went viral is because they, exactly what you said, showed that it was, real people acting, real animators doing the animation, people who wrote the script. It was all real. It was touched by humans. And that's
this is my AI cat visiting.
I hope that one doesn't pee and poo all over your stuff.
Jesus.
That's the one thing. All right. Well, I guess at least we're not going to war tonight.
Not tonight.
That's
the good news, folks. We did it.
Yeah, we're ending on a positive. Not going to war tonight. But tomorrow's another day. And also just a quickie for everyone to ruminate on. AOC puts out a tweet, quote tweeting Newswire, where she leads JD Vance 51% to 49% in the hypothetical 2028 poll for presidency. And she quote tweets it with bloop. Bloop. Think on that. All right. Do you have anything else to add before we check out?
I'm thinking on that, and my brain just stopped entirely. Bloop ended it for me. That's like on the nose, but a bloop.
Bloop.
I don't know.
Is that within the margin of error?
That's the Democratic Party.
Bloop.
Yeah, it is within the margin of error. Like you're bragging that you're 2% above a fascist.
Bloop. Let's see an Instagram thirst trap. All right. As always, we love and adore you guys. We'll be back tomorrow at 6:30 for our TMI show, 6:30 Pacific. People power, all power to the people. It's the only thing that's going to get us out of here. So anything to say before we go out?
Shout out to Amazon striking workers. Shout out to the Starbucks people raising hell. Shout out to the French for still fighting their government. Shout out to anybody. Shout out to the guy painting crosswalks, getting arrested for it. Anybody not working within the system and giving them hell, just fucking do it and support them.
Absolutely. Solidarity forever. We love you guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Cheers.
When you have one of the wealthiest companies on the face of the planet that won't even pay workers enough to buy a home in the area, buy goods and services, make enough money to rent, tells you we got a problem, we got an imbalance.
I see like older people working so hard and carrying like really heavy packages. I see a lot of people getting injured and not getting compensated for it. Like if they get injured, they get fired, and for Amazon, we're just a number and they're replaceable, and I feel like that shouldn't happen. One of my friends got injured, he had a hernia, and he never got his surgery. So Amazon was telling him all the time that they didn't have the money for for a surgery, and he got injured at work by carrying the heavy packages.
We're all working paycheck to paycheck, and yeah, we're here all the time. I basically live here. Like, I spend time with all my coworkers more than I spend time with my family. A coworker who is currently not here, she's on leave, I believe. She's an older lady, she has grandkids. She's in her 60s, and she told me that this was her third job. And in between all of those jobs, or in between, she comes and sleeps in the parking lot, and it's not right. Like, and she's not the only one either. There's a lot of older people here who are pushing very heavy boxes and like tiring themselves out, hurting their backs. We're all hurting our backs. I'm not even 30 yet. My back hurts every day.
Think about how many people order packages and how many millions of dollars Amazon makes at that workplace. Like, that all comes from us. That comes from us, like, you know, breaking down our bodies. People are getting tired of living paycheck to paycheck, not having time for themselves or for their families and loved ones. If we don't do anything, of course nothing's gonna happen. This is proof that it can be organized, and people want change. We're out here demanding $30 an hour, safer work environments, free healthcare, dignity and respect in the workplace. Yeah. Why can't we ask for this?
Jeff Bezos, I think he needs to start listening to his workers. These workers are the ones that make this profit. These workers deliver the packages. These workers are the face of this organization. Now, of course, Amazon and big corporations want workers to think this is futile because that's the narrative they want to control. Because guess what? When thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, and ultimately millions of workers withhold their labor, they win.